The Bloom Show, innovate, connect and bloom.
Hi everybody, this is Sahid, the host of The Bloom Show. The Bloom Show is brought to you by New Bloom Solutions and New Bloom Media. The purpose of the show is to connect the entire industry to information, to each other, to insights, and especially to different opportunities when it comes to improving your business. So we do want to tell you that this show is by the floral industry, for the floral industry, and that's super important because if you're able to make it to the show today, we ask you, I know this was a last minute show for us, but if you're able to make it to the show, we do ask you to like, comment, and ask questions, right? Questions are super important, so being engaged with our audience is something we really, really appreciate. Today, I'm very excited to have one of our sponsors, one of our partners on this show, Verdissimo. It's a company that is super important in our industry as a leader when it comes to preserved products. And what are preserves, right? We're always asking, and we're like, oh, is it roses? Believe it or not, it is roses, but there are a lot of other products with it. And there's a trend happening as well when it comes to this product within the industries, which is really key to look at, because there's a lot of value there too. I don't look at it as a competitor to fresh cuts. I really look at it as a complementary product with fresh cuts because they work well together. It's another way of having fresh cut or flowers available all the time, which then inspire other products as well. So without further ado, we're going to have the marketing director. And I do want to say that this company is really unique. Because they started internationally, globally, and then now they have been in the US as well. So it's really unique in that sense. It's really unique because it's not just a flower, it's a whole entire process, the color combinations that they offer, and a couple other things that they do. And that's what we're going to be hearing from Camilo Alvarez, the marketing director today. So without further ado, I'm going to bring him on to the show.
The Bloom Show.
Camilo.
Sahid.
How are you, sir? Let me try this. Oh no, that didn't work. All right. Well, my team wants me to try something different, and every time I try it, it messes me up. So I'm a little old school in that sense. How are you, Camilo?
I'm really good, Sahid. Really glad to be here with you talking about our industry, about our products. It's really exciting, man.
Nice to have you, man. I know that you and I have been talking about this for a little while, and also working on some other projects together. So it's awesome to have a little sit down one-on-one. I know we did a video that was pretty successful in Proflora. So last time we saw each other in person was Proflora, right?
Yes, we'd really have a blast there. We were showing some new products. It was great to have you visiting our stand. You gave a great speech also at the venue. You did have a little chat there, I remember.
Thank you. Got a little nervous there, but I did have the speech as well. But those shows are always great to see the products that people are doing and the different colors and varieties. So how was Proflora for you when you were there?
Well, it's always a special venue for us, a special fair, because it's where the heart of the company is. I don't know if a lot of you know, but our company, it's pretty much in multiple countries, in Spain, in Japan, in Colombia, of course, the newly opened operation in the US. But Colombia is very special because most of the flowers comes from here, and it's the biggest production plant. And of course, this event, it's pretty special for us because we can not only meet our customers and show them what's up with their products and where we're the lineups, but we actually receive all the workers from our industry and the fresh cut industry, and it's a really special event for us to share with the insiders of the company, but of course the new customers, and even event and floral florists and decorators.
So most of the wait, but let's start with this. Sorry, I just kind of jumped out into talking with you.
Yeah, sure.
Share a little background about yourself, so they know who you are and what industry you come from, and how you got involved with Verdissimo and Innovaflora.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm actually an industrial designer, but I did a master's degree in marketing and sales here in Colombia and in Spain. And basically, most of my professional life, it's been around preserved flowers.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been 13 years now. Jesus, yeah, since I joined this industry. And before that, I was in a mass consumption edible oils packaging engineer. So quite a different type
Packaging
of.
engineer. That's really cool. So do you do the packaging for Verdissimo?
Yes. So basically, it started. I actually joined the company in 2013. I was basically in charge of all the product development and packaging development. And obviously, packaging is a very important product, piece of our product, because our flowers doesn't rot or doesn't decay as fast as fresh cut flowers. So the packaging is a very important part of the product to protect them during the whole chain. So that's why they hired me, and I ended up involved in of course packaging. It's very close related to branding, and then branding it's very close to web presence, and then I just spiraled down into this hole, and I became the managing director of marketing. So it's a
Wow.
pretty good serendipity there, how everything converged to where I am right now.
Packaging's kind of cool. I like that. That's really interesting.
It is, and it is a very important part of every product, especially for preserved flowers. So yeah.
That's neat. So let's start with some questions here. Let me come here. Is Verdissimo is known as a global leader in preserved flowers. What truly sets your brand apart in terms of innovation and production?
Well, I think we have multiple fields in which we detach from other producers, but basically we are the biggest producing group. We do have operations here in Colombia, and we do have in Europe, and because of that, we have access to a variety of flowers and greeneries that most of the producers don't have. And because we produce them ourselves in our production plants, the whole chain of value it's quite integrated. So let's put an example here in Colombia. We do have a farm here in Tocancipá, and that's our farm. Then we harvest everything. We put that in the process, with the preservation process, and then we ship it ourselves to our warehouses in let's say Japan or in Valencia or even in France. And the whole product is very well integrated, the whole change up to the delivery to the customer in those cities or those regions. So that's something quite unique in the preserve industry, that you have the control of all the change. So it's an integrated logistic chains, production, and sales that it's quite difficult to manage by other distributors or other producers. So I would say that's something that it's really stacks up from Verdissimo. And of course, the other thing that makes us leaders is because we do a lot of our own engineering of the process and the new development of varieties. So we have constantly launched to the market new products, new varieties, new colors, new finishes, and even finished products. So I think the whole combination between our production and R&D department with the whole integrated change, it's something that it's quite difficult to manage, and that's why we are market leaders, I would say so.
And it's global. So you said Japan,
Yes.
Spain.
So in Japan, we have offices in Tokyo. We do have a warehouse in Sendai. That's an hour away, a port near Tokyo. And then, of course, in Spain, we do have our biggest production place in Europe, especially in Valencia. It's located in Valencia. We do have some warehouses in France, and we do have, of course, our newly launched operation in the US, it's very young, a couple of years maybe. And we do have a warehouse in Miami, and we do have a sales team there that is taking care of our customers there. So basically, that's the whole network of companies. We do have one company in one of each cities, and that's our global footprint so far. We do have more ambitions, but that's where we are right now.
That's big, a big foot. That's a big
Yeah,
foot.
yeah.
So another question for florists and wholesalers who are new to preserve flowers, right? Or have heard of them in the past, might have tried them, and now they're looking at it again. Can you explain the basics of what they are and how they're made? And also, I think it's also important to explain who's using them, what are the practical uses right now, and there's more than roses. Right.
Yes.
I think it's also important to state that there's more than roses. We all know the roses in the hat box, but there's peonies, there's chrysanthemums, there's mums, there's mosses, there's trees. There's so much more than just roses. So can you share a little bit about that? And how are they made as well? Sorry, that's a big question.
No, it's a big question, but it's a great question. So basically, I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. It has a lot of nuances, but basically, when the flower grows in the field or the greenery grows in the field, we cut it at the best point. It's very different from fresh cut flowers, because the fresh cut flowers, you cut them closed, but we let the flower open in the field, and it has a lot of exposures to pests and stuff like that. So you have to be extra careful with your crops. And then you cut it, or you harvest it, and then you add a process to it. Basically speaking, the process remove all the liquids on the flower that can evaporate, and you remove those liquids, the sap, the water, and even fragrances, and you remove it via a process that it's super well made or specializedly made, so that the structure of the flower stays intact, even though you have removed all those liquids. And then you add liquids that it's, I always like to think about it like edible oil, that it doesn't evaporate. No matter how many years it's spilled in the table, it stays there for years and years. So basically, it's something like that. But it's a very specific liquid formula made with our own patented technology. And this liquid basically replaces all the liquid inside the structure of the flower of the plant. Basically, what you end up having is a natural product, a field-grown product that has been replaced all the liquids by a special solution that it's very, very, very friendly with the environment, that has color and it doesn't evaporate. So wow. you can stain now. You can tint the flower any color you want, because we usually use food grade colorant to match any color you want, and it will, because the liquid doesn't evaporate, it actually will last for many years if you take care of it properly. So that's broadly speaking. There are a lot of nuances, but basically that's the whole process.
I've also heard that the rose petals themselves, the roses, they need to kind of be taken apart and then put together as a rose, or is that not?
Well, usually that's not the case.
Okay.
Usually the whole flower is preserved complete.
Wow. Okay.
Now, saying that, there are some exceptions, because some markets require very specific type of products. So we do have a rainbow flower, rainbow rose. So these roses, we do add some petals in different colors to add this effect of a rainbow. But basically that's, I don't know, maybe 1%, 0.5% of the sales. So it's exceptional. But most of the flowers are basically one preserved product itself.
And
from
what are the other products you have in your categories? Because
Oh,
again,
we broadly speaking, we have three categories. So basically, you could argue it could be four, but basically, you have flowers, you have greeneries, which are it's everything greenery like fillers and stuff like that, and you can have also trees and palms, preserved trees and palms,
yeah,
and you could split the greenery between mosses and proper foliage. But
yes.
mosses are a big part of our offering in preserved. So
So you can kind of see here that the greenery behind this, that's preserved as well. And I put this QR code so you can check out. I believe it takes them to contact or it takes them to a catalog. Check screen. What does this QR code take them to?
yes, so basically this is specially designed for our customers in the US so that they can actually have a contact with a sales representative. And it's a very fast to fill form, and we'll get in contact if you are interested in this type of products.
Fantastic. And then you can also visit the website, right?
Yes,
I'm
of
jumping
course.
ahead of myself, but I would love people to kind of know the product before. There you go. Check that out. So you could also visit the website, and I'll show this QR code a little later as well. But I wanted to show that. But this is the website, and then there you could see the entire selection because you will be blown away by the type of things they have. It's not just roses, and that's something that we're trying to educate the industry that it's more than just roses. So, and it's very how do you say not adjustable, but you could use it for many different things, right?
Yes.
Um, Let me see here. For florists and wholesale, nope, that's the same question. So Verdissimo has pioneered innovations like preserved peonies, color development, and patented
Yes.
process. How does innovation guide your strategy and continue? You even have it in your name, Innovaflora.
Well,
Flora.
yes,
So,
yes.
so
So
what's so important, and where does that core come from?
so basically, this is a very niche type of product. Even though preserve has been around for many years, we think this is a very niche and very new product for most audiences. So in essence, we still think this product is very revolutionary and very innovative for the most customers. If you look at the global market of preserve versus fresh cut flowers, we are basically below 5% of the share of the market if you compare us with fresh cut flowers. So it's a very unknown product, and when you tell the story, even though we've been around for more than 30 years, to most people, they are actually blown away and they cannot believe that this thing exists for many years. So we still think there is a factor of innovation in the product itself, in the category, right? But now talking about our group or our company strategy, we are really trying to push the envelope in terms of production and preservation techniques. We actually have a quite different preservation techniques, and we actually focus on coloration and wide color gamut in our portfolio, but also in new varieties. So recently, the peony is a great example. We have the only peony preserved in the industry. We have seen other companies that do something like garden roses that they make it look like a peony, but it's not really the peony. So in terms of preservation, we actually think that offering new solutions, new varieties to the customers, it's really important. And I think we actually push the envelope really hard on this. Another example I can give you is that our preserved moss, we recently launched fire-rated moss that you can actually have a certification for fire-rated moss.
Wow.
Special applications in hotels, restaurants. Nobody in the industry has something like this. So it's a very important core of our DNA, I would say. But it's also the whole category. It's pretty innovative itself. So yeah, I would say that.
Fire rated moss. That's pretty cool. I never thought there would be a need for it, but it does make sense. Yeah,
There
because
is,
you do full walls of it, right?
yeah, basically that's because we do have a lot of greeneries, and because of this biophilic tendency in interior decor and architects, um, which is basically bringing nature close to us again and feeling warm, surrounded by nature in urban or architectural spaces. We've seen every day an popularization in bringing preserved nature inside offices and houses. And for a lot of industries, it's very important that you have a fire-rated product that you're going
Yeah.
to cover the walls with. So we actually developed this item, and it's actually pretty good in sales. People are
Wow.
demanding. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's pretty interesting. We have a question that just came in. Oscar is, where are your products currently available in the U.S., online, retail stores, marketplace, etc.?
Yeah, that's a great question. Basically, you can find our products in convenience stores. Right now, we have CVS. We do have another outlets like HEB. You can actually buy gift boxes with stem roses. These Valentine seasons, we actually were in most of the CVS all around the U.S. And basically you can buy it with the Verdissimo logo on it. So that's one example. Of course, we that's B2C.
Yes.
In the link in the QR code that I send, and of course later on, I think you're going to have an email shown. You can contact us directly if you want to be a wholesaler for us. We've been focusing a lot in expand our footprint via wholesalers. It's been quite a challenge for the past few years, but it's catching up. And recently we are opening new wholesalers is in California, and of course we do have a warehouse with products in Miami. So
I do want to jump in real quick. If you're a wholesaler, reach out to this email or reach out to me.
yeah,
Why? Because we can't really share too much of it, but we have a pretty cool program that we came up with. A little inspired by me, but um,
it's true. Yes.
I gotta say that. But it's a super collaborative, cool program that you want to hear about, and it's out of the box and it's something really cool. So if you're a wholesaler and you're like, man, I can't, seem to move these, talk to us. We'll share the idea. I'll get on the call with you to share what direction we're headed and how we could partner together to get this in the hands of your florist. So I hope I did that right, Camilo. But I know that wasn't a part of our conversation. But
No, yes, because we think that it's quite difficult for florists to grab our products in the U.S. market because we are very well renowned in Japan and in Europe. Our preserved products and our brands are very well renowned in those areas. But in the US, there's still a lot of work to do, and florists still juggle a little bit to try to find our products. So this idea that you came with, it's really brilliant, and it's trying to change that the florists can grab our products in different outlets, especially wholesalers. And yeah, if you're a wholesaler, if you want to get to know us and want to get our products in your places, well, get in touch. We are very open to do so, and we are very willing to actually help you to do that. We have strategies, we have ideas, we have a lot of things to put on the table, and yeah.
So if you followed me for the past years and you're a major wholesaler, everything I've said, we're kind of putting it into action. So of being collaborative and supporting the business of the business, right? So do reach out. I think it's something really cool, and you hopefully intrigues your curiosity because it's promise you it's going to be something cool. Let's jump into another question here. That to use. Okay, here we go. Innovaflora opened in the U.S. about 2 years ago. What gap did you see in America, in the American market, that you wanted to solve?
So basically, um, Yeah, procurement of the product, the preserved brand or preserved brand Verdissimo, it's been a challenge. Basically, the U.S. is a super gigantic country, and to make a footprint to cover it all, it's pretty difficult. And of course, the preserve industry is getting trendier and trendier between florists and decorators. And one of the gaps that we do find in the US is try to get the product to every single florist and that people have access to it. And one of the ways we can solve this is actually helping the wholesalers to get the products into stores so that they can actually have access to give the access to a lot of florists that are interested in these products. And we are pushing for the past year, maybe year and a half, to actually get in contact with the most wholesalers possible to actually make the footprint bigger and bigger. And we have made some promising steps on that way, but we still see that gap is gigantic. Of course, the US is a pretty big market, but I think we should be recognized more in more places.
When you're saying gap, I assume you're saying opportunity, right? And that's the really important part, is the opportunity of the educating florists how they could use the product, why it's important to use the product, and also giving the wholesalers the tools to get that product into the florists. One thing I should state, we Verdissimo doesn't sell to the florists. It does connect them, educate them, inform them, but their real main goal, correct me if I'm wrong, please, the real main goal is to work closer with wholesalers to then service the florist in your area and in around the nation. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
That's
Want to make sure. But you could also, if you're a florist, you could always reach out to Verdissimo so that they could connect you with a wholesaler in your area. Is that correct?
Yep, yep,
Okay,
exactly.
perfect. So I'm on the right track. Perfect. So then overall, what you had seen in the U.S. is really being able to connect it to more of florists to make more education and making the product more available to them, because you do have many people that reach out to you.
Yes, yes. So, but the thing with the florist is that most of them they do know preserve, right? But they always have in mind, yeah, these are roses only. These is basically for super expensive arrangement, which is doesn't have to be the case. So it has landed that the preserved flowers are basically roses and very expensive products. But it's quite different from that. The reality is that our product is very flexible. It has variety of colors, variety of flowers. It has people don't know about how beautiful our hydrangeas are and how they can fill a whole arrangement in a different way. And basically, it's been a challenge to teach or to widespread that preserve is way much more than that. So yeah, it's trying to change that perception and trying to reach each one of the florists to understand this is a great alternative to, or at least an option to use in their arrangements. It's been quite a challenge because of this.
And the best way to do that is to partner with the wholesalers that are closer to it and to offer them the support and
Yeah,
education
yeah, of course.
and other things. Go
We,
ahead.
we sorry, yeah, we've been thinking about. Of course, we do try to communicate with florists and decoration, and we do that all the time. We have multiple collaborations in our Instagram and our Facebook, and in even live events like in fairs. And we actually been in Madrid Blooms, which was an amazing venue, and we are very close to the florist. But the thing is that it's a community so big, and flowers are so lovable by everyone,
Yep.
that reaching all of them it's been quite difficult. And one of the ways to popularize our product is via our wholesalers. But we've been trying to also get involved with the florists. With the florists all around the world to introduce them to these segments. And there are some florists that have been making amazing things with our products. And
like what? Give an example. What have you
oh,
seen? At
you should,
storefront, some great stuff too.
yes, you should take a look at Nikolai Bergmans. It's
Okay.
it's a Danish designer that lives in Japan and has created most of his work in Japan, and is very influenced by Japan. And you should see the products that he makes with preserve. It's quite amazing. It's stunning. We do have in Spain one of our others representatives like Quijana, which is a Spanish designer that does a lot of arrangements for weddings and events, and it's quite amazing. And in the US, we are actually starting to collaborate with some florists, but it's such a big market, and people are so busy that we still haven't managed to do our first US designer. But we are.
And one thing I'm thinking, just an idea out there, and we'd love if there's anybody who wants to put comments of how you use preserve. But I know that the rose boxes were a big deal at one point. I wonder if anybody's doing peony boxes during peony seasons when peonies are so hard to find.
Yes. So the thing with peonies is that it's such a bestseller for every florist and every
Yeah,
wholesaler.
imagine peony forever, right? Ooh.
It's super trendy, and the process to preserve it has been, well, quite a challenge. But we managed to do that, especially for the supply, because everybody wants peonies, and they are like a seasonal type of flower.
Yeah.
Getting the hold of it is really difficult, and yeah, we've seen that the fresh industry, it's the outlet where everybody goes, and peonies are very popular there. And of course, when we launched the preserve, they are getting super popular for hat boxes. So they are being used for hat boxes. They are quite more expensive than a regular rose because they are so scarce in the market that
Yeah.
that they are quite a little bit have a price differential. But yes, and we've seen that it has gradually mutated from hat boxes of roses to little gardens and more variety of greeneries and more variety of sunflowers, chrysanthemums, carnations. And we've seen that for the past few years, yeah, the hat box with roses, it's a bestseller. Everybody loves it. It's quite popular in the US. We have seen a change to make things different, and we've seen some of the big I would say companies that represent these, like, I don't know, Venus et Fleur, One Hand Flowers. You see that their arrangements are slowly migrating to try stuff with hydrangeas and with.
Oh, we lost him for a second there, but I'll fill in the sentence here, or I'll speak for a second. Give me a second, real quick. Let me go to the main. One second, sorry. Cool. I'll let you know when he comes back, and that happens. We're live. Internet's happened. If you think about it, the hat box was something really popular, right? So if you had a market for hat boxes, and there are roses, so you get a hat box, you get roses, then now what do you get next? Another rose color. So I feel that there could be a resurgence of hat boxes or other ideas, but with peonies, with chrysanthemums, with different products to add a pop of color, to add, not everybody loves roses. Sorry to say that, rose growers, sorry. But peonies are super popular. So maybe doing some small hat boxes of peonies during peony season. Why? Because peony SEO, if you look up on Google Trends peonies, it goes crazy. So it's a great door opener for you as well, to have something available in replacement of just roses during peony seasons, having a peony hat box. Here you are. How are you, Camilo?
Yeah, no, I cut you for a second. I'm sorry, but yes, you're absolutely right.
Right, and so it's looking at what I think that happened with the roses in the boxes. It had a boom, but then it was just roses in a box, right? So how do you scale that? And I always believe that trends do come back. Just like I don't know if you ever remember the ShamWows. It's like this yellow towel, kind of the color behind us. And then like 4 years later, 5 years later, it came back in a green, and whoa, something new, called a sham or something. So there's always an opportunity to rekindle new generations. And again, it doesn't always have to be about the rose. We love the roses, and
Oh,
they're a huge part of everyone's industry. But jumping that into other things like peonies, I think you even do orchids. Correct?
yes, we do have some orchids, and
Yeah.
we've seen we work a lot very close with some florists, and we've seen the latest trends. So basically, a week ago we were in Madrid Blooms, and we saw like the latest trends in one of the
Nice.
biggest florists around the world. And we identify trends, and yes, of course, the rose is always a favorite for Valentine's and stuff like that. But you can tell that the presence and the trends in the floral industry are very tightly close to the color trends of the fashion world, and
Very much so.
and very influenced by popular culture in terms of I don't know, the wedding of X and Y, and the event that some artist did, or the setup for a concert for X artist, and the Victoria's Secret. We've seen that the floral culture and the florist is super connected to the whole popular trends and fashion trends, and
Sure.
we work very closely to develop new colors that not only for roses, but also in greeneries that can match these trends. And of course, varieties are a different story. For example, a new chrysanthemum, or a peony, or a new type of carnation, or a dahlia. Those are trickier because you need to get the supply, or if you're going to cultivate them, it takes 9 months to put the farm into production for preservation. So we've seen that, yes, roses are a favorite, but if you double click in the high, how could you say that? Like the premium florists, they
Okay.
are all over the place looking for different effects with greenery, with different types of flowers, and we try to work with them as close as possible to find those new developments for following collections. We recently launched our color spectrum for the 2026 spring and summer,
Okay.
and these new colors are based basically in the Pantone color of the year.
So
So
yes.
we try to complement the palette, and we try to bring to the customers the latest trends in colors and varieties.
And something neat, and I'm going to bring this up real quick, and I think this is our last question, is unless the audience has any questions, please don't forget to like, comment, and share. Is when it comes, where does the U.S. portfolio look like, right? That's when we're jumping into it. And which products or starter kits are performing best at the moment? So, and I know we talked about that throughout, but let's start with that because there is a starter kit that we came up with, which I think it's a great way. I think when customers reach out, I think the difficulty sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, is what do I start with? What colors do I use? Which ones do I use? The big roses, the small roses, the little roses, the spray roses, because there's so much selection. So share with us a little bit about your portfolio and the starter kit for different sectors, I guess.
Yes. So basically, we do have a starter kit for wholesalers specifically, but it's so flexible, and it has such a compelling mix of our portfolio that it could be useful even for florists, for small floral shops. Basically, it's our starter kit for everyone that doesn't know preserved flowers. And of course, the entry item of preserved nature is always the rose. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And it's such a well-rounded product for a gift, for arrangement, that we have set up a specially designed kit that has our biggest hitters in the worldwide, which is mainly roses, but it does have these beautiful hydrangeas that help you feel in an arrangement a lot of space, and it has a little bit of color. It has also of roses and hydrangeas, a variety of colors that we actually sell the most in most markets. So it's basically the things that we know that sells very well, and it's going to have a very fast turnover. So that you won't be like having a need to push them to do the turnover. And it has one of our most amazing bestsellers, which is the stem rose.
Yeah, very
It's
cool.
it's really cool because the process or the naturality of the flower, even though it's preserved, it's beautiful. It has this thick green stem with beautiful leaves, and the head it's so well preserved, and it has this aperture that it looks amazing. So it's basically a kit that will first introduce everyone to the category if you don't know it, but it's almost guaranteed to be a very well seller. And of course, if you're a wholesaler, we can actually talk about. Listen, we send you the starter kit, and if you want to, if you're not so sure about it, we can actually agree on you pay us once you sell it everything, or at the moment that you have the
Okay.
turnover.
Yeah, as I had said, the Verdissimo was very open to supporting your business,
Yes,
right? So
exactly.
that's really key, and that may look like different ways. And there's a plan. I just got to keep it quiet, it's secret. But there's a plan. Reach out to us, and we'll guide you in that direction. And it's a way of partnering with you to make it a win-win and get the product out to the right people, education, even starting with the starter kit. So there's no thinking, right? It's a very simple starter kit. It's true, tried and true from the experiences of what sells best. It's not trying to oversell you. It's selling you just what you need so that you can get started. So there's a little bit for everybody, and then from there you start scaling the plan. Right. Once people start asking for different things, all the marketing materials as well. So it's a really partnership, collaborative mindset that is going to change the industry, in my opinion. Around, I've been saying it for a while. It's really, we're not in the business of just a transaction. We're in the business of helping you do business, right?
Yes.
That's really where the business is going to go in the next 3 to 4 to 5 years, really. And it's been happening little by little. So this is a cool project we're working on. Any other last words, Camilo, before you jump off?
No, no, no. An invitation to everyone to learn about the category, to learn about the brand. If you have any question about the portfolio for the US or for the starter kit that we are promoting, you can scan the code that you can see right now on screen. And we will be more than eager to help you out and to teach you how to use and promote our products.
So look at sales NA. That's correct. NA
Yeah,
sales NA.
sales North America at
There you
Verdissimo,
go.
and of course you have the form on the screen if you want to just to grab it and fill it.
Just scan the form and then just fill it, and then they'll reach out to you or send an email to sales NA at Verdissimo and let them know that you saw it here. And go to the website. You're gonna be like, it's a candy store. It's so cool to. It kind of opens up your eyes to see so much, and
Yeah,
especially the way I look at it, it's a great product for restaurants,
yeah,
hotels, corporate accounts, right? Gifting, finished goods, florists, boutonnieres. There's so many angles that you could really take it. You get a beautiful flower, a beautiful rose, a boutonniere, and then the bride and the groom could keep it forever. Right, so that's or almost forever. So those are really cool things that make this product different. And again, it's not a competitor. It could work together, and I've seen it done where they add different flowers. You start taking out the fresh cut, and then you still have a beautiful bouquet at the end of preserved products. So it kind of brings both worlds together. So, anything else, Mr. Camilo?
no, that's it.
All right,
Thank
let me
you.
say bye to you. Let me say bye to you without all these things around us. Give me a second, real quick.
Sure.
All right, Camilo. Thanks so much for joining, my friend. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and
Thank
chat
you.
with you. And you can hang out at the end. We could chat a little bit, or you could take off. I completely understand. But thank you for your time.
No, thank you.
Take care, brother. See you soon. All right, so that's super cool. It always excites me when there's an innovation, and it really excites me on this collaborative mindset that we're bringing to the table to work with wholesalers to get this awesome product out and educate how it can be used differently, how wide the selection is, giving ideas as well, and just really, really partnering. It's a really cool product, bunch of different colors. I still have a sample that I've had for a long time here. It doesn't fade. So it's just really cool alternative, but also complementary in its way. So let me see. I have another Oscar EA says thumbs up. Thank you, Oscar. Appreciate you. Don't forget to go visit them. And then I do want to do some housekeeping, I call. Let me show you this real quick. We do have the Bloom Together. Register as an attendee. Scan the QR code. We have 46 sponsors this year. Over 255 people are signed up already. So sign up. It's March 3rd, 2nd. God, I always say 3rd. March 2nd, next week, Monday, from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. And we're also having from 7 to 8, we're having this really cool round table, round robin kind of networking-ish thing. So come check it out. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. And then we have our calendar. We have our floral events calendar. We're still starting the year, believe it or not, even though we're almost done with the second month of the year, but we still have 8 months to go. And then we have our micro holiday calendar, which is super cool because it allows you to find new business opportunities in different cities and where there's micro markets, religious holidays, viral holidays, and more. All you have to do is scan the QR code, download it, and it's free. It's yours. Blue Show correspondent, Ecuadores and Flores, will be coming on February 26th. That's Caridad Sanz from Ecuador and Flores. It's a magazine in Ecuador that we're partnering with so that we could connect the Ecuadorian market and our customers and our viewers to what's happening in Ecuador. We're also having a Women's Day Roundtable. Let me see if I could find the, give me a second here. March 3rd, no, join, no. Oh, here it is. I hope it shows everybody. Women's Day Roundtable. Here we go. Lori Wheat. You know who she is. She's a powerhouse. Renee Tucci, another powerhouse. And Tatiana Castro, which is another powerhouse in our industry. So 3 women that are awesome in our industry and will be joining us to share their story and what they bring to this industry and what this industry brings to them. Trailblazing Women, the Bloom Show correspondent with Joe Don Zetzi. That's talking more AI and supermarket insights. We're talking to IFD with Jeff Landman about the wholesale world and wholesale business. And I just got an idea, Camilo, so ask me. Penny Lynn and Ace as well when it comes to green design, foam free, and fabulous floral. I let my correspondents pick their topics, so this is something they've picked, and a topic that seems to be important nowadays, so they'll be talking about this. And then the Bloom Show correspondent with Tim Huckabee on March 20th, turning complaints into sales opportunities. We also have Sunflower Technologies, is a new technology for retailers and for wholesalers. They'll be on the show March 24th. And Caridad Sanz will have a second episode on March 26th. I can see that's a little weird. Okay, that was a repetition. And the Bloom Show correspondent, Bill Schaefer, How to Forecast Trends in Floristry, March 27th. So do remember that almost every Friday, we have a correspondent. And then on Thursdays, every third Thursday of the month, we have Penny Lynn and the Penny and Ace Show on every third Thursday of the month, which is awesome show, a lot of fun. But every Friday or so, we might skip a Friday, is a show, 10 minutes, jam-packed with information from experts that it's really hard to get on a call with. So it's really a great opportunity. And some of these experts might be at the Bloom Together as well to chat and ask any questions. So everyone, really thank you, everybody, for your time. Thank you, Camilo Verdissimo, for joining and for sponsoring and for being one of our partners. We do ask everybody to support our partners, right? It's really important to know that our community and disinformation that you value so much, and everything we do for the industry that we try to give back to the industry, partnerships, collaborations, taking our time to speak to people, and on, is really powered by our sponsors from United Selections, Continental Floral Greens, Deli 4, Flor, Verdissimo, Sunflower Technologies, and Verde Board. So we thank all of our sponsors for supporting and continue to support our community, and we ask our community to be curious, reach out to them and support them and let them know that you heard from us. Really appreciate your time. I hope you're all well and have a great rest of your month, and see you next month for the next show. Take
The bloom